Since my first video in 2022, I've made a point of discussing my praise and critiques of the games that interested me at any given time. But this time, I've had the good fortune of being approached by a small indie developer to explore a game that had not yet made it onto my radar, and that game was Team 7 Star's Code Bunny. Before getting into it, let me assure you that my excitement will not influence my opinions on this game. While I genuinely enjoyed it, I've made it clear to the developers, and they've been very supportive, that I'll maintain my practice of speaking honestly, including segments on both praise and criticisms within the review. In Code Bunny, players take on the roles of two playable characters, Axel and Hazel, members of the VY space program. Their mission takes a sudden turn when a formidable faction known as Mad Bunny emerges, posing a threat to the entire project. As Axel and Hazel delve deeper into the unfolding crisis, they unravel a conspiracy that challenges everything they thought they knew of their organization and the vital energy source powering their world. As Axel and Hazel's narratives unravel, they'll confront their pasts and navigate the journey to finding their own paths forward. What struck me first upon diving into Code Bunny were its echoes of beloved retro classics like Sonic and Mega Man, particularly the Mega Man Zero series. Axel and Hazel each bring their own distinct playstyles to the table, yet the game's emphasis on speed shines through in both gameplay and level design. Reminiscent of 2D Sonic, players are usually presented with multiple pathways to the goal, with the higher routes demanding more skill and precision, but promising a swifter, more efficient journey. During my initial playthrough, I completed Axel's story before delving into Hazel's, and I found Hazel's gameplay to be notably more technical, which I quite enjoyed. However, upon revisiting Axel's story and taking the time to explore the skill guide, rather than relying solely on the tutorial, I realized that I hadn't been utilizing Axel's controls to their full potential right from the start. It became evident that there was much more depth to each character's abilities than I had initially realized, so I immediately hopped into experimentation. Leveraging Axel's background as a former ice skater, his controls primarily revolve around his spin attack. Pairing this move adeptly with his other abilities enables him to gracefully navigate stages, seamlessly leaping from one enemy to another as if gliding across ice. As Axel strikes enemies with his spin attack, his EX gauge gradually fills, granting access to special attacks. These include the Comet Kick, dealing damage and rebounding off of enemies, the Comet Dash, evading damage and striking an enemy, and the Comet Boost, which acts as a chainable damage-inflicting double jump. The EX gauge can additionally act as a shield, being depleted upon taking a hit. All these skills supplement Axel's other basic commands, such as his Stomp, which also fills his EX gauge, and his basic attacks, which can be chained into a 3-hit combo. Hazel's gameplay revolves around her expertise as a warrior adept in the art of swordplay. Her basic attack, in contrast to Axel's, can be chained into a 4-hit combo. Hazel can also counter enemy attacks and retaliate with devastating force. However, the standout aspect of her gameplay lies in her Ghost Crescent ability. Using her arrows, she can mark distant targets and swiftly warp slash to their locations. She can mark up to 3 targets simultaneously and follow up her warp slash with a double jump. Furthermore, the effectiveness of this attack, as well as the damage she deals and receives, scales with her Karma gauge. This gauge fills through various actions, such as marking enemies, striking marked enemies, and having the value of a combo added to the gauge at the end of said combo. The total gauge value is equal to Hazel's full health and can be expended to enhance her warp slash damage or subject her to additional damage equivalent to her karma upon receiving a hit. Hazel also possesses a defensive skill called Shatterpoint, deflecting fatal blows as long as she maintains more than 1 HP. In its current state, Code Bunny remains relatively short, yet each stage boasts distinct designs, color palettes, and gimmicks. Completion of each stage and boss fight is ranked, with ranks ranging from C to S+, based on performance. The true challenge of this game, like many that inspired it, lies in mastering the unique playstyles of each character and navigating the intricacies of the stage level designs to achieve the highest ranks possible. The boss battles introduce a nice mix-up in the gameplay loop, and offer yet another way to test your mastery of each character's abilities. When Team 7 Star initially contacted me, I was thrilled, not only by the opportunity itself, given my channel's modest size, but also because Code Bunny actually seemed like something that is right up my alley. While I can't claim mastery over it in the short time I've spent with the game, I've been thoroughly enjoying it and find myself compelled to keep playing. This urge is especially strong when seeing the impressive feats some other players are capable of. Code Bunny's ongoing updates, driven by feedback, bug fixes, and occasional content additions, present an opportune moment to offer my own insights for improvement. One significant suggestion I intended to raise, but learned is already in progress for an upcoming update, is the introduction of additional unlockable skills, which I believe would serve as rewarding incentives for skillful play and contribute to a greater sense of accomplishment. This forthcoming addition will be coupled with the introduction of a new speedrun mode, and I'll be eagerly looking forward to this update. Another aspect I feel could be better implemented is the story and setting of the first 3 stages. Currently, these stages feel identical when played by each character, with only occasional variations in enemy placement. I believe a more engaging approach would be to have Axel and Hazel's stories unfold simultaneously, placing them at different locations within the same narrative timeline. This would allow for the inclusion of different level designs and boss encounters in the same regions, enhancing the overall depth and variety of the game experience. The remainder of my feedback primarily concerns cosmetics. Firstly, I believe that adding additional environmental details in certain areas could enhance the sense of immersion and make the spaces feel more lived in. Furthermore, incorporating some movement outside the window at HQ would introduce more visual interest and contribute to a dynamic atmosphere. Additionally, within HQ, there's the Talk Room option, where players interact with other characters and gain deeper insights into their backgrounds. Typically, there are 3 distinct dialogues available each time you return to HQ. However, if players are unaware of this and continue to select the Talk Room after the 3rd dialogue, it simply loops back to the 1st. I feel that adding a notification when there's an unaccessed dialogue would be a helpful addition, making it more clear for the players. Finally, for a game as short as it was, the story was perfectly enjoyable, with several standout moments. However, I believe that expanding the scope of the project could significantly enhance various aspects, including the story. While Team 7 Star has crafted an awesome high-octane experience, dedicating more time to delve deeper into the lore, narrative, and characters could have elevated the overall experience even further. I'd love to see this game used as a proof of concept to launch a Kickstarter campaign, aiming to either expand on its current iteration or develop a much larger sequel. With its solid foundation and potential for growth, it could attract backers eager to explore more of the world and characters created by Team 7 Star. Code Bunny is currently available on itch.io at a very reasonable price, and is slated for release on Steam in the near future, although an official date has not yet been confirmed. I thoroughly enjoyed my experience with this game and plan to keep up with its future updates. I totally recommend Code Bunny, especially to fans of Mega Man and Sonic. If you've already played Code Bunny, I'd love to hear your thoughts on what you'd like to see in future updates in the comments below. And if you haven't tried it yet, let me know if this type of game piques your interest. If you've enjoyed this video, I'd greatly appreciate if you can leave a like and subscribe. And as always, I hope you'll join me in the next one. I've been Punch and Funk. Keep it funky, fellas.